Black Zetsu took over the leadership of the Akatsuki after Toby acknowledged his defeat and surrendered. And for most of the series, he was only in the background. Black Zetsu was the physical manifestation of Kaguya Otsutsuki's will and a sinister entity. Black Zetsu was responsible for manipulating Obito into using his technique to resurrect Madara Uchiha, in contrast to his intention of aiding those he ought to help. However, Black Zetsu was not after Madara Uchiha only. He also wanted to resurrect the powerful alien princess, Kaguya Otsutsuki. He wanted to support her agenda of transforming all humans into an army of white Zetsus against the Otsutsuki clan. With Toby and Team 7's teamwork, they managed to defeat Kaguya and seal her again. In the end, Madara also lost all his powers when the tailed beasts were taken from him, and when Naruto and Sasuke stopped the infinite Tsukiyomi. Hidan, the immortal ninja of Akatsuki, is known for his eerie dedication to Jashin, the god of death and violence. He began following the beliefs of this god and worshipped him from a very young age, and then he started killing people in Yugakure to honor Jashin. This valley of hell was the kind of place that was rumored to be haunted for a very long time. Hidan left his village and joined Akatsuki to take out one of Kakuzu's hearts, and after succeeding, he was given the offer to join the organization. When it comes to his power and experience, his ruthless nature coupled with committing murders makes Hidan a terrifying enemy in Naruto. His cursed technique, death-controlling possessed blood, made him link his life force into his opponents by ingesting their blood. It means that he could inflict injuries on himself to create a ritual that could connect him to his enemies and cause them pain without even touching them. Yahiko was a charismatic and inspiring leader who was known for a strong sense of justice. As Akatsuki grew, many other ninjas from Amegakure joined them as they were attracted by Yahiko's peace treaty under his charismatic leadership. His leadership was truly impressive considering how he united a group of diverse and talented ninja under one common goal and inspired them to believe in their cause. So with the passage of time, Akatsuki's reputation grew beyond their village. Yahiko was also quite strong as he had mastered various water jutsu techniques which allowed him to manipulate water in different ways during the battles. Now, Akatsuki's rise caught Ame's leader, Hanzo's attention, who initially supported their idea, but eventually saw Akatsuki as a threat to his own power. However, it was all a setup, as his men ambushed Yahiko and his companions too. In fact, Yahiko tragically sacrificed himself during the confrontation to save Conan, who was held hostage by Hanzo's men. His self-sacrifice made Nagato furious, which led him to summon the demonic statue, the Husk of the Ten Tails, to defeat their enemies, which Hanzo managed to escape. Yahiko's death left a permanent scar on Nagato and Conan, so they vowed to carry his legacy and achieve his dream of a peaceful world. Jugo is a unique character in the Naruto series who's known to have a unique connection to the curse mark. He's one of the last survivors of the clan who experimented on itself to enhance their powers. The experimentation led to Jugo's unstable and aggressive nature due to the curse mark's influence. Despite his violent tendencies, Jugo is shown to be caring and sensitive towards his nakamas. After Itachi died and Sasuke's realization regarding his brother's true intentions, Jugo, Suigetsu, and Kaden formed up the Taka. It was initially formed as a part of Sasuke's quest for revenge against the Hidden Leaf Village. Their mission quickly became more ambitious as they allied forces with the Akatsuki to capture the Eight Tails, which were housed within the host's cult Killer Bee. Overall, Jugo played an important role in this mission because he could use the curse mark, giving him immense strength and regenerative abilities. Throughout the series, Jugo faces his violent impulses while seeking meaningful relationships, making him a compelling character. His loyalty to Sasuke reinforced his desire for connection, despite his past trauma. Shin was Orochimaru's test subject who had developed a disturbing fixation on the Uchiha clan, or Itachi Uchiha to be more specific. He had a unique genetic makeup that allowed the Sannin to perform as well as succeed in many genetic experiments like permanent clones. Orochimaru could unlock numerous genetic secrets by harvesting Shin's teeth and nerves. He decided to take on Uchiha's name, while plotting secret revenge against Sasuke for Itachi's sake. Shin strongly believed in Akatsuki's goal of endless war that could get rid of the weaklings and strengthen humanity. He carried out his clones to revive Akatsuki, but his plan failed with Naruto's interference. Shin tried to win the fight against Naruto. He was desperate, so he kidnapped Sasuke's daughter Sarada and took his wife Sakura as prisoner. But Shin was ultimately met with his demise by one of his own clones, who decided to betray him after witnessing Naruto's powerful fox. Therefore, before Shin could even implement his plans of taking over Akatsuki, he failed miserably. Conan was one of the founding members of the Akatsuki and was formerly a kunoichi from Amegakure. Conan's family was also killed during the Second Shinobi World War, and that's when she met Yahiko as well as Nagato. After Yahiko's death, she eventually became a de facto leader of Amegakure after leaving the Akatsuki. She is known for her calm and stoic personality and was deeply dedicated to her friends and ideals. Conan was known to be an S-rank criminal because of her deadly ninjutsu. Her unique combat style is known as the Dance of the Shikigami, which allowed her to transform her body into countless sheets of paper. The technique is very versatile, as it will enable her to create paper butterflies for reconnaissance, manipulate the paper to become shurikens and spears, or even suffocate her enemies by wrapping them with it. She could also fly by creating wings, which made her be seen by the people of Amegakure as God's angel. Her control is so destructive to the point where she can embed explosive tags on the paper to overwhelm her opponents. In her final battle with Obito, she created a lake filled with 600 billion explosive tags, designed to detonate continuously for 10 minutes, where she almost defeated him. What makes Conan even more special is her intellect and tactical mind. She studied Obito's intangibility technique to the smallest detail, which gave her the chance to almost kill such an overpowered character. Although he survived by using Izanagi, her determination showed us her unwavering resolve to protect Nagato's legacy. Kakuza was one of the strongest ninjas who had left his village, Takigakure, and joined the Akatsuki. He was partnered with the other Akatsuki members including Hidan. Kazuka and Hidan were together called the Zombie Combo because they had abilities that made it almost impossible for them to kill. Kakuza was known to be one of the top ninjas in his village where he was often sent on dangerous missions, including his mission to kill Hashidama Senju, also known as the first Hokage, which he failed. On this failure, his villagers pushed him harshly, which left Kakuza feeling betrayed. He left his village to start a new life at Akatsuki where he killed 4 of his partners because of his bad temper. There, he finally formed a friendship with Hidan, who even destroyed Kakuza's heart, which impressed him and paired the duo together. Despite not liking one another, the two found comfort in each other's company, and the same skill set also made them perfect partners. When it comes to Kakuza's abilities, his body was made of threads that allowed him to regenerate his body parts and live for a long time. He also had the ability to steal other ninjas' hearts, keeping up to 5, which made him almost impossible to kill since he had to be killed 5 times. Each heart had its own ability to control different elemental powers like wind, fire, water, and even lightning. Kakuza was one of the strongest members of the Akatsuki because of his rare abilities and sharp mind. Dada had no intentions of joining the Akatsuki, another S-rank missing nin from Iwagakure, but he was forced into the organization while being the youngest member there. During his time at the village, Dada was one of the members of the Explosion Corps, but after defecting from the village, he joined the Akatsuki. There he partnered with Sasori and Toby until the two met their demise. It was mainly Dada's explosive clay abilities that attracted the attention of the Akatsuki organization. Kisame, Hoshigaki, and Sasori went to recruit him after he defeated them in a fight against them. Dada played a significant role in Orochimaru's death when he betrayed the Akatsuki. He tried to blow up Orochimaru's base along with Sasori and Kisame, but couldn't confirm whether he died or not. Dada was an incredibly powerful missing nin as Pain, the very leader of the Akatsuki, acknowledged his unique abilities. In fact, Dada has defeated many powerful opponents, which include Gaara, the 5th Kazekage, and the 3-tailed Isobu, which proves how strong of a character he was. Dada's clever tactics and trickery to outsmart his enemies allowed him to constantly win battles. He often relied on misdirection and calculated risk to gain the upper hand on the battlefield. For example, he secretly mixed explosive clay with Gaara's sand, which caught him off guard. His sand abilities go way beyond this. Dada could even turn explosive clay into different shapes, including deadly weapons like birds and dragons. This ability was called the C4 technique, which extended way beyond mere weaponry. Since Dada had a deep artistic philosophy, he believed that true art was fleeting, explosive, and temporary, which showed his true desire to represent his art on the battlefield, proving his exceptional creativity and flexibility even in times of chaos. Sasori was a powerful S-rank missing nin from Tsunagakure's Puppet Brigade and a member of Akatsuki alongside Orochimaru and Dada. He was recruited by Conan, who proposed that if he lost, he would join the Akatsuki. So after losing the fight, Sasori joined the organization. In Sasori's childhood, his parents were killed by Sakumo Hatake, the White Fang of the Konoha village. After his parents' death, Sasori's grandmother took care of him. As a member of Akatsuki, Sasori was quite dedicated. His lonely childhood and disillusionment with average human emotions made him more vulnerable to Akatsuki's goals. Sasori's main job in the Akatsuki was to take out the important targets for the group. He was known to be quite ruthless and efficient, so people often feared his puppets. Sasori was a skilled puppet master as trained by his grandmother Chiyo. His love for puppets started when he lost his parents. Sasori became obsessed with puppetry and the idea of immortality. Despite being forced to join, Sasori planned to kill Orochimaru as he betrayed the Akatsuki, which proves how loyal he was to the Akatsuki clan. He was also known for defeating one of the strongest ninjas in his village, the 3rd Kazekage, and turning human bodies into puppets that he could control. Sasori even created a puppet of himself that kept his heart alive. This made him invincible in combat, except for his heart. His drive to avoid death by turning him and others into puppets was also the reason for his downfall. It consumed Sasori completely and turned him into someone who focused only on his art while losing his humanity. Sasori was eventually killed by Grandma Chiyo as he didn't avoid her final attack and instead decided to fully take in the final embrace from his parents, who were the puppets Chiyo used to fight him. Orochimaru was one of the most powerful ninjas out of all the ninjas from the Hidden Leaf Village, known as the legendary Sannin. His main goal in life was to learn all the secrets of the world and be immortal, which turned him evil. Orochimaru performed unethical experiments on people to achieve his goal, but he left his village to avoid punishment. Then he finally joined the Akatsuki to destroy his village to get his revenge and prove his abilities. He was an orphan who lost his parents, which resulted in his twisted personality. He was also obsessed with learning the forbidden techniques when he came across a snake at his parents' grave. The real reason Orochimaru joined the Akatsuki was to learn and master every single jutsu of greed, but he couldn't succeed. He briefly joined the Akatsuki but had to leave to get himself a new body for Sharingan. When he left for Akatsuki, Orochimaru decided to open his own hidden village called Otagakure, where he continued his research and spent a lot of years experimenting on others while seeking immortality and learning powerful techniques, which made him one of the most feared opponents in the Naruto universe. He possesses chakra reverse with a mastery over all 5 transformations. His body modifications included regeneration, shapeshifting, and immortality, which made him a really feared opponent on the battlefield. Kisame was known as the monster of the hidden mist and one of the deadliest shinobi to ever come from Kirigakure. Not only that, he was a member of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. Later on in his journey, he joined the Akatsuki and was partnered with Itachi. Surprisingly, both killers liked each other, despite having completely different personalities. Kisame was loyal to the Akatsuki because of his disillusioned perspective of the world, which led him to support the Eye of the Moon plan. His loyalty was deep, to the point where he committed suicide just to protect the Akatsuki's secrets. Kisame was known for his massive chakra reserves, which earned him the title Tailless Tailed Beast. His weapon was known as Samehada, a sentient and chakra-absorbing sword that could not only heal Kisame but also amplify his abilities. By wielding Samehada, Kisame has access to a powerful shark-like form, which allows him to regenerate injuries, have underwater breathing, and even an increase in his ninjutsu. His water release techniques made him a master of underwater combat, where he could create entire lakes and massive water domes to drown and trap his opponents. His jutsu included powerful attacks like the water release Great Shark Bullet technique and water prison shark dance technique. This gave him the advantage to immobilize foes within an underwater prison, giving him a natural advantage. He was relentless in battle, fighting against deadly opponents like Killer Bee and Might Guy. Although he was nearly beaten by Killer Bee because Samehada betrayed him, his final act fits his character. Kisame chose to protect the Akatsuki by allowing his own sharks to eat him as he perished with a smile. Itachi Uchiha was another significant character from Naruto who was an elite member of the village's secret force, until he gained infamy for killing his entire clan, leaving only Sasuke alive. On top of all that, Itachi was not just a skilled ninja, but also a swordsman and genjutsu expert, whose Sharingan abilities made him a formidable opponent. His role within the Akatsuki was complex and multifaceted. He joined the Akatsuki to protect his village from a greater threat, and his actions were shrouded in mystery for much of the Naruto series. But Itachi's eventual sacrifice to protect Konohagakure revealed how loyal he actually was. Itachi was a pacifist at heart. He despised violence and sought peace, which is a part of what made his eventual actions so emotionally devastating for everyone. Itachi partnered with Juzo Biwa and Kisame Hoshigaki, which quickly earned him the reputation as one of the most dangerous members of the Akatsuki. When it comes to a powerful ninja like Itachi, he possessed the powerful dojutsu, which granted him an enhanced vision and the ability to predict quick movements. His Mangekyo Sharingan even unlocked some of the greatest techniques like Amaterasu, Tsukiyomi, and Susanoo. Beyond his Sharingan, he was a skilled taijutsu fighter, extremely smooth in various techniques, and had a natural talent for fire, water, and wind chakra. One of Itachi's most famous fights was with Orochimaru, where Itachi defeated him as he tried to steal his body. It was one of the most iconic Naruto fights of all time. Surprisingly, despite Itachi's young age, he quickly moved above the ranks of Konoha and became an Anbu captain while gaining recognition as one of the strongest shinobis of his time. Obito Uchiha served as one of the central antagonists in the Naruto world, who mostly acted behind the scenes and manipulated the whole Akatsuki. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, it was revealed that Obito caused most of the atrocities in the shinobi world. Obito's true identity, posed as Madara Uchiha, threatened his opponents. After the Third Great Ninja War, Madara saved Obito when he was on the right side of his body and was on the verge of being crushed by a boulder. He not only brought Obito back to life, but also taught him the art of manipulation. On the other hand, he became indebted to Madara Uchiha. When Obito was disguised as Madara Uchiha, he decided to keep his identity hidden until he accomplished his grand plan of creating a reality where he, Rin, and Kakashi could exist side by side. However, Obito's true identity was revealed in a fight against Naruto, Kakashi, and others where he used a deep voice while claiming to be the legend Madara Uchiha. He teamed up with Kabuto, a secret spy who could bring the dead Akatsuki members back to life. After a massive fight against the Great Shinobi Alliance, Toby's plan failed as he eventually faced a tragic defeat by Naruto and Sasuke, which ended his plans and caused the downfall of Akatsuki. Still, it was Madara that ultimately ended him, as before he realized his mistakes and was about to stop everything, he was betrayed. Toby, initially known as Obito Uchiha, was a former ally of Kakashi Hatake and an important figure in the events that led to the Fourth Great Ninja War. And yes, we covered him before, but technically he is 2 members of the Akatsuki. His tragic past where Madara Uchiha manipulated him changed his worldview. Toby was exposed to the dark path under Madara's mentorship. The concept of the Eye of the Moon plan, which could cast an infinite illusion on humanity, had affected Toby to the extent of embracing a path of destruction. Toby joined Akatsuki after experiencing his tragic past and undergoing transformation. In this way, he becomes an antagonist, driven by a desire to create a new world with manipulation and chaos. The turning point for Toby was Yahiko's death, who sacrificed himself to protect his friends. This loss deeply affected him, and Toby officially joined the Akatsuki, playing a crucial role in the organization. He became the actual leader of the Akatsuki and took leadership in the shadows while using Nagato in the organization. He acted like an idiot during his time in the Akatsuki, but there was a whole mastermind plan going on behind the scenes. Secretly, he became a strong fighter with abilities almost similar to Madara Uchiha. He had quick reflexes, regenerative abilities, and of course, manipulation. One of Toby's best fights in Naruto was against Naruto, Kakashi, Guy, and Killer Bee, where he showed his incredible speed and ability to warp attacks using his Kamui, allowing him to transfer objects to and from another person. The loss of Nagato's closest friend deeply affected him. It drove him into despair and anger, which ultimately led him to take a darker path. Nagato's vision completely changed when he took control of the Akatsuki. He believed that true peace could only be obtained through inflicting suffering and destruction upon others. Nagato adopted the name Pain soon after his friend's death, and he abandoned any peaceful ideas that he had. He also discovered the 6 paths of pain, which is one of the most challenging techniques in the Naruto universe. It allowed him to have control over 6 bodies, including Yahiko's, which he used as a symbol of leadership. But his leadership stood in stark contrast to Yahiko's. Nagato mastered the art of manipulation, using other people's fears to maintain control over the Akatsuki, recruiting the most dangerous missing nin. He also went on to capture tailed beasts, the powerful creatures from the hidden village, so that he could ultimately dominate conflicts and control wars. Under Nagato's leadership, the Akatsuki grew a lot. They executed dangerous missions and became notorious outside the village. When Nagato met Naruto Uzumaki, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki, who persuaded him that peace could still be achieved without further destruction, Nagato sacrificed his own life to revive those he had killed during the Konoha War. After Nagato died, Conan left the Akatsuki, which was the end of the original group's vision for peace. Sasuke, the youngest born to Mikoto and Fugaku, had always lived in the shadows of his older brother, Itachi. Now Itachi was someone great, a prodigy in the Uchiha clan who could do anything he wanted with his skills. Despite this admiration for Itachi, Sasuke struggled with feelings of neglect, especially when he couldn't match the level of his brother's achievements. This was Sasuke's driving force to intensely become stronger, especially after witnessing the massacre of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke joined the Akatsuki to get revenge on the Hidden Leaf because of what the elders of the village had Itachi do to his clan. It was like a brotherly revenge for the betrayal he felt. He believed that the village had manipulated Itachi into committing the mass murder, which angered him to the extent of making him join the bad guys. As Sasuke worked closely with the Akatsuki, he started learning more about Itachi's reasons for his actions, which changed Sasuke's feelings for the Akatsuki. Even though Sasuke was an essential part of the Akatsuki, he never relied on others. He would act on his own while not fully agreeing with Akatsuki's beliefs, and eventually, he betrayed them to follow his own ninja path. His time in the Akatsuki was an important moment in the story which pushed Sasuke to face his past and think about which side to choose, the good or the evil. But before he joined them, Sasuke faced off against some of the most powerful Akatsuki members like Dada. He even fought his older brother, Itachi. In this battle with Itachi, Sasuke was driven by a sense of revenge, believing that Itachi had murdered their family in a quest for power. However, despite his fueled motivation, Sasuke had lost. It was only after Itachi's death that Sasuke found out the true circumstances behind Itachi's actions, revealing a far more complex reality than he initially assumed.